On this episode of Cape Media News, Cape leaders calling for the resignation of one Barnstable County Commissioner. Yarmouth Police honor fallen Sergeant Sean Gannon's memory with a new state-of-the-art training facility. The Barnstable County Sheriff answers questions about the controversial ICE 287G program. And we'll take you inside the Faith Family Kitchen, providing hot, healthy meals to those in need. These stories and more. This is Cape Media News. Welcome everyone to Cape Media News, your local authentic newscast covering Cape Cod. I'm Sarah Colvin. County politics have been in focus this week as often controversially outspoken Barnstable County Commissioner Ron Beatty posted a tweet criticizing gay members of the legislature. On February 20th, he posted the following: "Generally speaking, are gay politicians too self-absorbed and self-centered to adequately represent all of their constituents in a fair and equitable manner?" During Wednesday's meeting of the County Assembly of Delegates, many members called for the commissioner to resign.
Commissioner Ron Beatty Jr. has crossed another line. This one is the most egregious attempt at self-importance. Mr. Beatty is now attacking the moral compass and values that we Cape Codders hold dear. His continuous outrageous behavior has no place as an elected official of Barnstable County. He's a constant embarrassment to the citizens of this historic county. Commissioner Beatty needs to resign immediately. Regardless of his intent, it's crucial that government bodies, our Cape Cod citizens, publicly censure Beatty and reaffirm our sense of decency as a caring community. To this end, it is my hope that the Assembly of Delegates will see fit to take appropriate action soon.
I am offended by the comments made by Commissioner Beatty, and I think they cast a very dark light on the workings of county government and put us all to shame. And I therefore called for Commissioner Beatty to resign immediately.
I echo the comments of the last two Assembly delegates. For the same reasons, I call on Commissioner Beatty to resign.
I just want to bring people's attention to the fact that besides the incredible, vile, homophobic tweets, he also tweets things that can be taken as threats. His tweets go beyond vile, and I call for his resignation.
Delegate Brian O'Malley of Provincetown read a resolution asking the board to join together in severe disapproval of behavior such as Beatty's.
It is the policy of Barnstable County to promote equal opportunity for all persons of Barnstable County, regardless of race, color, religious creed, national origin, sex, age, ancestry, sexual or affectational preference, marital, family, or military status, source of income, neighborhood, or disability. Where unlawful discrimination exists in housing, employment, education, public accommodations, town or county services, insurance, banking, credit, and healthcare, Barnstable County will not tolerate retaliation or reprisal against persons exercising or supporting the exercise of equal opportunity rights. Whereas the above statement of policy has long been the standard for Barnstable County, and whereas the current political climate and social media have encouraged the public use of language which singles out, demeans, disparages, and threatens certain groups of minorities, and whereas such use of hateful and intolerant language is inconsistent with standing county policy, therefore, the Assembly of Delegates resolves to affirm its policy of non-discrimination, especially with regard to county services, and strongly condemns and censures any form of hate speech, especially from persons employed by Barnstable County. Submitted by myself.
And members of the Cape delegation this week sent a letter asking for Beatty's resignation. They said, "Two from our group were singled out by inference in a completely inappropriate tweet by a Barnstable County commissioner who continues to spread hurtful, bigoted, and juvenile commentary. Recognizing that Ronald Beatty engages in this boorish behavior to elicit reactions for his own amusement, we would prefer to simply ignore this latest example of his tone-deaf rhetoric and have the press and social media do the same." However, our silence could be interpreted to imply indifference, and that would be a gross misrepresentation of how we feel about the situation. Instead, we defend our colleagues who were attacked and encourage Mr. Beatty to stop besmirching the reputation of everyone in county government, both elected and appointed, by resigning his office immediately. Enough is enough. Commissioner Ron Beatty responded to our request for comment this morning, saying in this country we have something called the United States Constitution, which includes our First Amendment right to freedom of speech. He says he's done nothing wrong, he has nothing to apologize for, and will not consider resigning from his position as Barnstable County Commissioner. He said regarding the ongoing political harassment by others to shut me up by trying to force me to resign, I just want to say that if my freedom of speech rights are successfully silenced by others, then your First Amendment rights are next. Once again, no, I will not apologize for anything and certainly will not resign. Beatty sent those words in an email to Cape Media News on Friday morning. The Assembly of Delegates could vote on a resolution to censure Beatty in early March. Yarmouth Police are hoping a new state-of-the-art training facility named in honor of slain Sergeant Sean Gannon will help better prepare officers for dangers in the field. Gabrielle Rawson reports on the opening of Phase 1 of the new training facility.
All right. Hey, Governor.
Well, you've got to come with me, right here.
Right here.
Together,
You're going to
okay?
cut this ribbon.
There we go. How do we do this?
All right.
Go ahead. Come right in, right here. Right.
There you go. Awesome.
There you go.
Beautiful.
It's been almost a year since Yarmouth Police Sergeant Sean Gannon was shot and killed in the line of duty, and his memory is being honored with a new training facility bearing his name, now open at the Yarmouth Police Headquarters.
Sean would be so proud of all of you, but not surprised, because this is just who you are. So I'm really grateful to be with you at this moment when you're launching something so important.
Gannon's death prompted the department to take a better look at their training practices.
Today is a big deal because it's a culmination of something positive coming out of the loss of Sean Gannon.
We've needed better training, a facility to train, to protect ourselves and our citizens, and today is the start of the right thing to do, and to do it in honor of Sean Gannon means everything.
The new facility features a state-of-the-art interactive training system that allows officers to practice a number of realistic scenarios, better preparing them for their work out in the field.
Burglary in progress.
Please, this is Lieutenant Karen Polito. Stop! Stop! Stop!
If there's one thing that I learned during my 26 years in law enforcement experience is that when you're faced with critical situations, you're only as good as your training. And this Milo training tool that they have now that they're going to be unveiling today, this is a state-of-the-art piece of technology that's going to help the police officers, not only for this department, but for other departments who use the equipment. It's going to help them hone their skills and develop better decision-making skills in the most critical and dangerous of all situations.
There's a lot of things that go into police work in these days, and use of force and being able to make decisions quickly is part of that. And be able to have a facility that we can now train on a regular basis it means a lot to us.
And it's better training for us because it sets us up with realistic scenarios that we can practice on.
Right now for us to train, it's a planning process, even for the range, because we only shoot twice a year. I have to schedule stuff out, and then we only get the opportunities to do it. So being able to train whenever we want, it allows us as instructors to come up with training and plans, and we can do it daily, weekly, or monthly.
And this is just the beginning. Future development includes a training building, obstacle course, and an enclosed firing range.
It's important to make sure that police departments get the training that they need.
I'd like to see that the K-9 Sergeant Sean Gannon Training Center becomes a model for police departments everywhere.
Funding for the facility came from generous donations and community support following Gannon's death, along with fundraising efforts by the Yarmouth Police Foundation.
Very happy to see that the community is helping us raise money as well as awareness.
It's all the people out there. It's not the foundation doing this. It's the people, the community from all over the country.
Phase 1 of the K-9 Sergeant Gannon Training Complex opened on Valentine's Day. For Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson.
And that new facility is now being used by officers. The department hopes soon to begin Phase 2 of the project. Up next, we'll hear about a recent public meeting held by the Barnstable County Sheriff.
Do you know any teens dealing with anxiety, depression, or substance use issues? I do. My name is Stephanie Bryety, and that's why I started Behavioral Health Innovators with my friend Mary Beth Schoening. Our mission is to solve these problems by listening to and working with teens themselves. The first message we heard loud and clear is that teens have no space where they can talk about these issues out in the open, and they are worried about their friends. We started an after-school program called Recovery Build that provides that space. Teens work with peer mentors to create fun, social activities and build healthy coping skills. Counseling is offered. Young people in our community have embraced Recovery Build. Friends bring friends to the program. We are looking for members and volunteers. Call or text us at 774-487-5227. To donate and learn more about our work, go to bhinnov.org. Peers who have gone through the same challenges are the best allies for teens. Reach out and bring your friends to Recovery Build. Thank you.
Barnstable County Sheriff Jim Cummings, members of his staff, and state immigration officials held a community meeting in February to discuss the at times controversial ICE 287G program. The goal of the meeting was to educate the public and better clarify any misconceptions and misunderstandings in regards to enforcement of the program. The 287G program authorized trained officers at the Sheriff's Department to be deputized and look into the resident or citizenship status of individuals who are being held at the jail for criminal offenses. Some residents who attended the community meeting were concerned that immigrants were being wrongly detained and treated unfairly. Their questions were answered clearly, and the sheriff reinforced his mission to keep all residents of Barnstable County safe.
Whatever your ideological bent is or your political persuasion, if you were there to get information that you didn't have, ask a question that you didn't know, I think you walked out at least having an understanding of how the other side feels, what they believe, and why they believe it. And that's a positive thing for our community.
79 inmates were referred to ICE in 2018. Only 2 were deported. In the past 7 months, less than 1% of booked inmates were referred to ICE. Offenses range from sexual crimes against minors, rape, assault, and intent to murder.
We have 2 things. We have someone who's in the country illegally, overstayed a visa or went over the Rio Grande, and they've committed a straight crime that a judge is holding somebody on bail. And so these people are criminals. They're criminals in however you want to define it. And when we take those people off the streets, just like when we take an American citizen off the street who has committed a crime, hold them on bail or give them a sentence, there's a lot of purposes of that. But one primary purpose is public safety.
Some opponents to the program attempted to rile the audience by bringing up accusations of bias against women within the panel itself and unfair words to describe visitors or immigrants who are in violation of the immigration law.
There's a reason it's called illegal. You've got to believe in the laws if you're going to have a country, and I believe in the laws, and I believe in immigration because I'm a first-generation immigrant.
So we think not only that 287G we got to get rid of, but we got to abolish ICE altogether.
Most who attended the meeting showed support for the sheriff and the ICE program. The sheriff says his door is open to anyone who has questions about the program. Up next, we'll take you to Faith Family Kitchen, feeding bellies and souls in downtown Hyannis.
I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
3 nights a week, folks in need can get a hot meal, and for Faith Family Kitchen executive chef Jenny Wheeler, it's more than just helping those in need.
This is my happy place. This is where I'm my most creative. This is where, I love being in a kitchen.
This is Faith Family Kitchen inside the Faith Assembly of God Church in Hyannis. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Jenny Wheeler and volunteers from the Cape Cod Council of Churches serve hot, healthy meals to families and individuals in need.
We serve a variety of people. So we have 2 seatings a night. We have the families that we serve from 5 o'clock to 5:45, and then we serve an adult seating from 5:45 to 6:30.
The people who come to Faith Family Kitchen are kind and grateful for the good food that Jenny serves. They're also grateful their voices are being heard.
One of the things that so many people wrote is that they really were interested in knowing what was coming next. They wanted something to look forward to. And I thought, that's so simple, but it really is a big deal. I post today's menu and then what's coming up on the next day we serve. And I do that every day. So they always have kind of a look forward to what's coming up. And I also encourage them to make suggestions. If there's something you want to see, tell me.
Jenny is a professional chef who also holds an MBA from Babson. She's dedicated to serving hearty, nutritious meals, and she's built a strong partnership with the Greater Boston Food Bank.
And since we've done that, we have now increased our deliveries to twice a month. So we take in about 4,500 pounds of food a month. We get boxes and I don't always know what's coming, which is kind of fun. I get all of my fresh produce for free. Having that access to the fresh produce, to the fresh food, allows me to do a much wider variety, and it keeps it fun. We nurture people's bodies. I'm here to provide, healthy, delicious meals. However, I really feel that we nurture their soul as much as we nurture their body. And in doing so, I think I get more out of it than they do.
Jenny came to Cape Cod to recover from a traumatic injury that shattered her dream to open her own commercial kitchen.
My right heel fell through the fiberglass of a tub at a hotel I was staying at, pitched me backwards, slammed my head into the wall, injured my hamstring. I dislodged my ulnar nerve and crushed the nerve underneath it. I suffered a traumatic brain injury. I had just finished building my own commercial kitchen in Lynn, and I never got to light a burner. I was very angry. I had lost a lot. It was not lost on me that all of a sudden I'm in a place called faith when I didn't have any.
16 church groups and 2 Rotary clubs provide a steady stream of volunteers who truly enjoy coming back to Faith Family Kitchen.
I just love it. I do a lot of volunteering, and you get more as a volunteer than you give. You just receive.
Everyone is a giver here, obviously. It's like if they weren't a giver, they wouldn't be here. And being around people who are givers is a good thing. It rubs off. You want to give more, you want to help out more. And so that's what life should be, It's you just give and give.
Very good. It's an experience, and watching the different people come in and give them a nice warm meal on cold nights, and it works out good. I think it's good for them.
Just last week we noticed it's how many people live one paycheck to paycheck. And it only takes one paycheck to be put in this situation. And we've come to that realization that any of us could be here. And so it's great that we're able to serve. And we take it more as a privilege to be serving these, because we realize we could be on the other side any day of the week.
And the volunteers say everyone is grateful.
Everyone says thank you.
Mostly upbeat, smiles, a lot of smiles from both sides, good conversations with both sides, in the kitchen and out there.
What keeps me coming back are the looks of these people's faces and the appreciation that they have.
People know each other, they know us, because some of us have been coming for so long.
I think everybody enjoys it a lot. Like even if it wasn't for the food, it'd be a good social time to talk and stuff like that, but it is good food.
I fully realize that, if it wasn't here, I don't know where they would go.
I think if somebody just came out even one time, they'd be like, oh wow, why haven't I been coming to this? This would be so much help, for my family and everything.
And for Jenny, the Faith Family Kitchen has not only helped bring her back into the kitchen, it's brought back her joy.
As somebody who lost everything in a freak accident, or thought I lost everything in a freak accident, the swing is significant, but I have been able to give something that I didn't even know I still possessed the ability to give. Because at a time that I desperately was lost, they kind of found me.
It's a gathering of community, of commiseration, and hope every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at Faith Family Kitchen in Hyannis. For Cape Media News, I'm Sarah Colvin.
And I had a chance to dine with some of the folks at Faith Family Kitchen. It was an experience I'll never forget. We will hear more of their stories in the coming weeks here on Cape Media News. Up next, we'll take you inside the Cape Cod Maritime Museum's newest exhibit. Cape Cod, an Artist's View opened at the Cape Cod Maritime Museum on Friday, February 15th. We were there for the opening and had a chance to talk with some of the artists.
Cape Cod, an Artist's View is the new exhibit on display in the art gallery at the Cape Cod Maritime Museum.
So the exhibit at the museum this winter is actually the first of its kind at the museum. It's a collection of all local artists.
The work of 10 Cape Cod artists is on display in a myriad of mediums, including paintings, photography, drawings, and sculpture.
Many of them have galleries or have had their art in other places, but this is the first time we've brought this whole group together and have moved from traditional marine art to art that's more inspired by the sea.
Many of the artists spent their careers on the water, whether they be fishermen, boat builders, or former harbor masters.
My name is Tom Leach, and amateur artist. Kind of amped it up at another level for myself here, and I'm very excited to be part of this. You've probably noticed that I do use a lot of color in my art here, and really the reason for that is I like color, and I like shadow, and I like light. So I am a retired harbor master. I've been on the water most of my life. So I'm used to seeing water things, and I try to strictly do marine stuff, That's my thing. So finding that light out there and researching, looking what other artists are doing and how they're using light, I've learned a lot.
Maritime Museum Executive Director Liz Rabideau is hoping that extended hours and new exhibits will bring in new visitors.
This is the first year that the museum has been open year-round, so that really gives us 3 or 4 seasons to show art. And what we really want to do is maximize local artists' ability to show their art that's inspired by the water that's around us.
At the museum, Whitney Wright teaches boat building to children, but he's also an accomplished artist.
I like irony, and I love to be subtle and a little bit in your face. My work is kind of accidental and incidental. I find objects and let them inspire me. Some of it is from limbs of trees. A lot of the metal is picked up on beaches, on a beach that my family used to own. I have emotions in me, and I let them out, and the feelings come out, but the titles of the pieces come afterwards. After the title comes out to it, then it starts to really mean something to me. It's been very rewarding here. Of course, it makes you very nervous. You're standing there with all your emotions out.
The museum was full to the brim on opening night, held on Friday, February 15th.
I'm overwhelmed with the response tonight. It's the middle of the winter. It's raining out. We did some marketing, but it was rather modest marketing. The artists themselves knew that we were having this open house, and they reached out to their friends. And we've seen so many people who've never been to the museum before, or maybe have been a long time ago, and not recently. And when they started coming right at 5:30. And I know that sounds crazy, but I guess at this time of year, since we've never been open in the winter, this museum is blessed to have this engaged community here tonight.
Cape Cod and Artist's View can be seen at the Maritime Museum on South Street in Hyannis. For Cape Media News, I'm Sarah Colvin.
Cape Cod and Artist's View is on display now at the Cape Cod Maritime Museum on South Street in Hyannis. Next Friday, we'll take you inside Flashback, a brand new retro arcade opening up on Main Street, Hyannis. That's all for this week's edition of Cape Media News. We thank you so much for tuning in. Stay up to date with us online on Facebook and Instagram. For Cape Media News, I'm Sarah Colvin.